Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the SoundPEATS Air3 Deluxe HS. So this is a brand new model. I think it actually was available in other regions, but this is the international release of it, so I will call it the brand new model, and it's certainly the latest model by SoundPEATS. So this is the back of the box, and it's sort of this vertical oriented case. It says SoundPEATS on the back. This is the one button reset that is pretty common on sets. And you can kind of see that the Air3 Deluxe HS is this half in-ear style. So instead of having a nozzle with a tip, you sort of get this set that sits right inside your ear, and it kind of fires in two directions. So kind of an interesting choice to give a half in-ear style. And what's unique about the Air3 Deluxe and HS and why people are going to go out and buy it, no matter what I say, people are going to adopt this one and buy this one simply because it is high-res audio, wireless LDAC, right? So LDAC codec is, I think it is the highest bitrate that you can get for wireless devices such as TWS. I think aptX sort of approaches it, and I think there are some variations of it that will probably get pretty close. But as far as the highest quality, kind of commonly available Bluetooth codec, LDAC is going to be the one. So I think they are very proud of this high-res audio wireless sticker and the LDAC certification and capability that comes with this set. So additionally, you get a 14.2 bio-coded dynamic driver, about 20 hours of playtime, and dual microphones for in-call noise cancellation. So that's what we got on kind of the physical specs of it. So let's kind of jump into a review of it, and we'll kind of go through this a little quickly because, as I said, the most important part of this whole thing, why people are looking up this model, why you should care about this model, it is simply because it's the first high-res certified half in-ear TWS earbuds. I think there are other certified high-res audio earbuds, but not in the half in-ear style. And this one is also LDAC. So LDAC codec sounds great, and I use this one. It's kind of rock solid up into about 990 kilobits per second. So put a little asterisk there. And you do have to remind yourself that if you have an Android device, you probably do get the LDAC codec on your device. If you are an iOS user, if you're an iPhone user, you will not have LDAC. So please do make sure that before you buy into wanting the highest res available codec for Bluetooth, that your device actually indeed does support LDAC. And this one does give you EQ modes, which are actually similar to other SoundPEATS TWSs if you're familiar with them. So you do get the SoundPEATS classic EQ setting and the others that you're kind of used to. So it's super high-res premium audio plus, some sound signatures that you're already familiar with from other SoundPEATS products that you may own. So why you may want to wait on this set, the partial in-ear style doesn't offer the isolation and the seal as you get in full in-ear, and a full in-ear would provide. And I have to admit, I put that in there mostly on my benefit because that's what really happens to me is this style. It works for casual users. If you're used to an in-ear monitor and IEM, if you're used to that style, this one is a little harder to get used to because it always sounds like it's not quite sealing properly. It sits right outside your ear, and you don't quite get that seal and isolation that you're used to on a full in-ear monitor. So it's sort of a trade-off between the convenience of just having it hang in your ear. Anyone can pick this up and use it without having to wrap cables around your ear or orient it in a certain way or get the right tips. So there is, sort of a bit of convenience that this form factor offers that you won't get in ear, but at the same time, you sort of lose what would probably be maybe a higher quality sound experience if you had a full nozzle and a tip that went right inside your ear. So also on this one, no ANC, and I really only bring that up because the ANC and the pass-through modes on SoundPEAT's other device called Life was actually really, really nice. I think this is Life. Yeah, this is Life right here. So this one, and what was really kind of new on this one was, one, it was a huge bass set, but two, it had active noise cancellation, and it was really, really good for the price. It's kind of amazing for the price what they did on ANC and pass-through. And to drop back to no active noise cancellation. I think some people may want to wait for noise cancellation if that's something that's important to you. Certainly, SoundPEATS can do it, and they can actually do it well at a very reasonable price. So that may be worth waiting for in the future as well. And like I said, the fit, it's convenient and secure fit for outdoor use. It's really easy to use. Even if you have gloves on, it's kind of really easy to put them in your ears and adjust them. But the sound is definitely more variable without that seal of an in-ear. It's kind of a bit less bass, and the upper mids get a little bit sharper if it kind of falls out of place a little bit, and I found myself adjusting them a little more than Life, because Life does, in fact, sit in your ear with a tip. So another thing to consider is the app does require an account. If you were looking forward to using the SoundPEATS Classic EQ, that is a default one, and that is the one that you want to get. That is the one that you get right out of the box. If you want to change that, if you want to customize it, do your own custom EQ, you will need to log in with an account, sign up for an account, and use the app. And some people don't want to do that, so I make you aware that their application support does require an account that you log into. So the sound. I call this one a kind of a slight bright V from the SoundPEATS Classic EQ. I think their SoundPEATS Classic EQ sounds like kind of like a V shape, and this one sounds just a little brighter with this form factor, that half in ear. I think it tends to lose a little bit of the bass extension, so everything sounds just slightly brighter. But for outdoor use, I think this one gives you that fun, energetic sound over that environment noise that you need. Indoors, I think I noticed the fit a little more and how it didn't quite seal in my ear, and how it sounds a little bit brighter into the upper mids. I think it's nice and clear, but just a little bit more fatiguing, especially compared to Life, which had a huge bass sound. This one is just, a slightly little brighter, maybe a little more fatiguing after a while, without having that bigger bass that Life had. So this one, V-shaped, but didn't really have that counterbalance of a huge bass set. But again, that's kind of a fit in how this thing sits in your ear, and whether you notice it's a little more brighter. It's really hard to kind of pin down the sound of this one. That's why I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, because your experience may be slightly different than mine. So the bass, it's definitely another bassy one, and as I said, it really depends on your fit. That SoundPEATS Classic EQ mid bass is really thumpy. It's got a big bump right there, but really harder to hear the sub bass with the fit on this one in particular. On Life, that wasn't a problem at all. And I think this is the part where I really wanted that bass extension of an in-ear. If I could change any bit about this and, could put a nozzle and a tip on it, I would say that's where the big benefit would have paid off. We're sort of at both ends of it. The bass extension, the treble extension, I think do benefit from having that full seal and being able to hear both ends clearly. This one is kind of more of a mid set, so the EQ setting does boost the upper mids over the bass, so they're actually nice and clear. Sounds a bit more V-shaped than the other ones, but it's probably just the fit. And this one kind of does remind me more of earbuds. This half-in style is very reminiscent of earbuds. And there's kind of a roll-off at both sides, like I said. And even with LDAC, even with that premium, high-res audio wireless certification, the style and the fit are really not the best for hearing that details and resolution that Bluetooth codec is really possible in delivering. So definitely does quite a good job at presenting clear mids over that thumping bass, but as far as the best LDAC experience that you could have, it may be worth waiting to see what they do as far as not doing another half in-ear style. The treble, again, the lower is there and it's boosted a little bit, and it works kind of well with the mids to give you that clarity and detail, and everything sounds nice and sharp. But the rest of it kind of rolls off, and it's just a little bit harder to hear in this style. Really hearing some of that treble extension is just a little harder with this half in-ear style. I think the lower is energetic and transitions to a more relaxed upper treble. So it's a little bit relaxed, a little harder to hear. I'm not sure if it's just the signature-wise it's a little harder to hear, or it's this because the form factor is a little harder to hear, but whatever, the upper is just a little more relaxed than on something like Life. And stage, when you relax that upper treble a little bit, you sort of get this okay for the design. It kind of does this job of giving you a wide sound stage, and it sounds wide enough to not sound cramped at all. But I think definitely Life, I think this guy had actually a really good stage. This one was actually a really good set, if you don't mind a ton of bass, but it was actually done quite well, and especially the stage was actually done, stage and imaging were actually done quite well. This one is kind of more like your average TWS and something that you're probably going to be used to if you have other SoundPEATS products or used to that SoundPEATS classic EQ setting. So that's what I got on the Air3 Deluxe HS, and look for that one in a couple days. I'll have a link to it in the description. So again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.